Hello. Welcome to another installment of the Captain's Corner podcast. This is take two. You will not know the reason why it's a take two. Joining me today, we got Milo Curtin, Luke Driscoll, and Dwanye Chapman Kenny. How are we, boys?
Go fuck yourself with a cactus, Matt.
Okay.
Wow, that
Well,
escalated quickly.
well, and here we are, trying to turn over a new leaf. And you've just picked a plant that doesn't even have leaves, and you're like, fuck this guy.
That was the
Well,
point, yes.
Yeah.
Well, you played subpar this week, and now Blair has to suffer from the sidelines.
You know what? Like, I'll just go out and say it. I'll shit on the field and I'll shit off it. Let's be real. It hasn't been a good week for me. I've already made an apology on the player made content, but I'll do one in a voice as well. I apologize for my actions. As a captain, that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be a good role model, which I was not. I'm not making excuses for my actions, or I haven't been the best me as of late, and I've copped the consequences on the chin. I respect it, and it was deserved. In saying that, I'm going to be better for it. I'm going to make sure that shit doesn't happen again, and we'll move on. Hopefully, I can find my way back into leadership for the Blues and potentially Australia. Sorry again for the actions I've done.
Can we just take a second to welcome the fact that I gave you a really good segue into that?
Yeah, I was like Paul Blart levels of segue. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't even introduce myself in that intro either. I just introduced you guys, then got told to get fucked. Specifically with a desert variety of plant.
Sideways.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's something that I was just thinking about.
I didn't say sideways, but you know what? The sentiment was there.
We're here for a good time, not a long time, right? I'll do it.
Anything's a dildo if you're brave enough.
Exactly.
Oh, next time that might be Will's next bet for Roosters versus Storm.
No, I'm not making no bets. Fuck that.
You don't think it's the King moniker, right? You give yourself the King moniker, and now you're then you start.
Honestly, my
looking down on
record since that hasn't been great. We've won like 2 games out of 6, 8, 2 and 6.
You know, Matt,
2 and 5.
I don't normally bring up conversation that goes on, but I do distinctly remember saying to you that you really love to fucking tempt fate.
See, I responded with that saying what I said wasn't a bet. It was more of a, hey, if this happens, this is going to happen.
But it was as good as one, wasn't it?
If I recall, I did a similar sort of thing when we versed the Grubs in like round 4 or whatever it was. And that didn't work out badly for us. So, yeah. Should we actually
Insane.
like move on to like the games and talk about what the podcast is meant for?
Yep.
This
You know, 'cause
podcast has a meaning.
we got enough haters. We don't want to gain any, you know. Anyways, we got the fuck. Roosters versus the Knights. 16-12 to the Knights. Oh boy, I'm sad. I'll give the Knights credit. Their defense it was premiership levels of defense. We had so many opportunities and just couldn't break their line. Our only tries are off kick returns. Yeah, fucking. I don't know what to say. I want the Knights to beat the Dogs. For reasons, as in I don't want any of the new sides winning. If I couldn't do it, I don't want anyone else to. That's just selfish, though. But I have to.
So not wait. So Bulldogs Titans grand final.
I don't. I want the Titans to make the grand final because I don't want the Storm there, but I want Knights to win it all.
I hate you.
Join the fucking queue.
No. It'd be an amazing story considering, like the Knights season are very up and down. So
True.
Although, didn't the
And-
Knights start the season as the highest overall team?
yeah, they did.
They did, but you know they're an oddly put together side.
They got
are
high
very
overalls,
rocks and
but like
diamonds.
they're kind of like, they had high overalls in the centers, kind of thing.
Speaking of rocks and diamonds, that's the next game.
I mean, Rocks and Diamonds is the Roosters as a whole for their season, but we'll cover that next week.
I mean, as is tradition,
Yep.
in the eastern suburbs. Look, I hope that my next statement doesn't cause anyone to clutch their pearls and make accusations of cyberbullying, but I really wasn't impressed with the post-game analysis. I appreciate, Luke, we've been given a little bit more context there, but when Pongston, who made 239 meters, 10 line breaks, you got half a sentence out about it before Eddie cut you off. It's like, oh, that's all we have time for. I just wasn't particularly impressed by that. And naturally, the context was given that it was a post-production commentary. But maybe that's something that could have been sorted out in post with some further editing. That just wasn't very impressive.
Yeah. Also, wow. Actually, speaking, let's just go back to the game. What you said. Like I was going through it and it sort of just cut off, which it happened. Moving on. The game itself. Oh man, how close was it? I thought for a second the Roosters were going to come back.
I thought we were in with a chance when we were down by 4 and we had so many opportunities, and then it just kind of fell
on the
flat.
line. Just you got parked down their end for significant amounts of time with multiple opportunities to score, and it just wouldn't happen.
We were just so clunky. We couldn't get the ball to the right spot. Bloody, I will say one thing. That pass went back. I didn't throw it forward. Edwards should have had a double. And then they scored off the back of that set too. Like they had the 7 tackles. Like it's our fault for like letting him that far down. But right after we get disallowed a try, they get given one, which was a good try. Dom Pongson is Dom Pongson.
And the Kerrigan one as well.
I vaguely remember having this argument about me not throwing a forward pass.
Yeah, but yours was clearly forward. Mine went back.
No, it was clearly backwards.
No. You said live on commentary mine went back.
If I was on commentary for my game, I would have said it was backwards too.
Nah.
It was.
Well, the difference is my one cost us 6 points. And that 6 points, or probably let's be real, 4 points. It was going to be a sideline conversion. I made the difference in the end. Actually, no, it did cost us so much because bloody they scored too. That's at least 10 points. Bloody refs, hate them all.
Be careful, mate. You might get told to go outside again.
I'll do what I want. I'm allowed to hate refs. As a Roosters fucking supporter, I can hate refs because we get rorted all the fucking time.
Oh, absolutely.
From the refs. We may get given leniency with the fucking salary cap, but on the field, we get rorted by the refs. You know what I mean? We don't get salary cap exemption. Like, it was a joke, you fucks. Anyway, should we just move on to the next game and stop talking about the NRL?
You'd still find a way to lose.
It's so fucking stupid. It's so stupid. And it's like literally the SRL Roosters are being like the NRL Roosters, where we have a good squad on paper and we find ways to not be good. But on a lighter note, but also a sadder note, I do want to thank all the departing Roosters. There's 5 of you boys. I've already given a message in our chat to them, but regardless of what happened at the end of the season, I'm proud of every single one of the boys that played for us, and you'll forever be known as the inaugural Roosters team. You played at the first ever Roosters side in the SRL, and I'm proud of you, and I hope you do well in the clubs that you go to. But yeah,
I would like to echo that because, all of the boys did absolutely go in full strength. There are a couple of Roosters fans who are departing at the end of this season, and so yeah, much love to all you guys, and I'm sure you'll do well in your clubs.
All right, so the Titans versus the Broncos. 30 points to 10 to the Titans. You want to take it away, Luke?
Yeah, no, it was a really good game from us. Never really in doubt. Like, we were fairly confident. The only thing that threw me off before that game was Will Kay backing us in his little synopsis, and I went back and I'm like, okay, for my bet went Broncos 9-18. Really, really quiet half for me. That first half didn't touch the ball once.
It wasn't a quiet half; it was a silent half.
Yeah, you could have put a potato bag out there and it would have done the same job. I did make tackles, obviously. I even finished the game with 4 runs. One of those I picked up a loose ball. Another one I passed it inside to Liam Ryan. And then the 2 runs I did take, 2 line breaks. So it was a good job from us. Well played by the Broncos, making it that far. I don't think anybody would have put them making it that far. Like myself, I would have thought the Raiders would have made it. So full credit.
I mean, the Raiders
that changing leadership really seems to have turned their season around, eh?
Like I'd say they did better after that change. Nothing against their former captain. I've already said my piece about that. But like Kelly, although isn't the greatest captain in my opinion, he knows the Broncos, and he got the best out of that squad while he was there.
Yeah, and we had McKay calling himself a that patter after making 252 meters. He must have done all of the second row work in that game because I didn't do any.
Well, there you go. Yeah, I agree with all your statements about the game. I'll take your word for it because I unfortunately was readying up a bath after that Roosters Knights game.
Yeah, I was preparing my finest bathing toaster.
That's what I was doing.
Wow. The leadership of Roosters took it a tough loss.
Oh. In reality, I was just playing pool.
And we brought up Rocks and Diamonds, McLucky. He can pull some amazing plays out, and then other times mistakes. Like, just it's one or the other. There's no. He did okay. It's either fantastic or awful.
Sometimes he's McLucky. Sometimes he's unlucky.
McUnlucky.
McUnlucky. Yeah.
McUnlucky, unMcLucky. Overall. Yeah, bloody good on you. I hope you beat the Storm. Honestly, I want anyone but the Storm to win, but I want
Big shout out to Rogers. Big shout out to Rogers.
Yeah, he got us the coins. The legend.
Yeah. We've got to mention Rogers in all this because I said all along, I'm like, watch him make 100 meters. And he got close, 95.
It's 20 more than we needed. That's fine.
Yep.
Oh. I was 150 coins plus after the bets. Thank you, Muzbets. Muzbet responsibility. Whatever. Although I agree
But,
with Jai's statement before. Every time you see Muzz bet responsibly, it inclines you to pick all three.
well, mm, I don't know how much I should say of this in light of Rule 6.
I don't even know what Rule 6 is.
The no politics one.
Oh, yeah, let's steer clear. Let's steer clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I will say that it did inform certain decisions in real life. That particular attitude. Um, that's why you'll see in real life the gambling messages have actually changed.
Ah, yeah. So for me, I'll look at it as just we're not using any real money. Even the coins we get from that are solely based off of one is betting and two is upgrading. All of it's just is not a real currency.
That is true.
Yeah.
I have made my views on the matter
Yeah, we've already had this discussion. Probably isn't needed to fully be delved into.
clear in the appropriate forum, and I don't think that my further commentary at this point would be particularly helpful at this stage.
I agree. Are you still there, Kate?
Yep.
You're
he's
just
still there.
super quiet. Yeah.
Jesus.
Just listening.
I was like, is he actually going to chime in with anything, or is he just going to sit there and be
I,
quiet?
I went to chime in at one stage, but
Quieter than electrical first half.
Or a,
yeah,
just a
I went to chime
Titans
in at one
main
stage,
player.
but I didn't bring my phone with me, and I went to the loo. So I was like, well, I can't unmute. My phone's in the room.
All right.
So
Before we move on to previews of the preliminary finals, we're going to do some season reviews of the 6 teams that did not make the 8. I've just written some notes which I'll just read off. I feel like I can read this off because I didn't just do 2 sentences. So we'll start off with the Panthers. 3 wins, 10 losses. For and against was minus 92, scoring 220 and 312 being scored against. A season that started with the unexpected retirement of their platinum player Robbo Mobiston, but marred with shocking performances and a sheer lack of cohesion, I think. I believe it was a case of too many chefs in the kitchen. They had so many halves, couldn't really decide what to do with them. And yeah, the rating I give them is an F. It was a terrible year for them.
It was, and you know, I have a soft spot for the Panthers. Lockie gave me my debut as a SRL player there. I got my leadership debut there as well. And you know, they just always seem to carry one half too many. And I think they were painted into a bit of a corner where they were kind of forced to carry one half too many with the players that were left behind after, you know, the draft, and pretty much everyone that was left was a half or hooker primary. You know, I think they've got some really good players, but the players they have aren't right to put a good team together. I have a lot of respect for Lennox and Chad. You know, I think they can do something really well. They just need to work on their team balance a bit, and hopefully they can clear out some of the spine, as we saw with the Mudus trade. And, you know, I think they can really challenge next season. Don't write off the boys from the foot of the mountain yet, but they really do need to fix a few things up.
That's a fair analysis. I've also put in here best game, worst game, plus their best player. Best game, no shocker, was the game against the Dogs, beating them 40 points to 12. Jimmy Ralph having an all-time performance. And their worst game was against the Warriors, 22-0. They didn't show any signs of life in that game. And I don't even think the Warriors scored in the second half, but like Penrith didn't show anything in that game, so that was their worst game. And in terms of their best player of the year, I've gone with Chad Johnson.
Chad always puts in a full effort.
Even in the losses, he was still playing well. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Even before the name change, he was really right up there. I do think Lennox picked well with his choice of vice captain.
100%. Not gonna lie, I've tried signing him every season he's been here.
I've also tried signing him.
I don't think Lennox did bad at all this year either. All things considered.
No, he actually played quite well this year too.
Yeah, he played really well.
There's a few, as Curtin said earlier, there's a few things they need to just work out and make the team a bit more balanced, and they'll be right. And as he also said, I have a soft spot for him. And as Lachlan gave me my first proper fullback job over there, and I was a part of their first finals run, and I really do hope next season they can pick up and learn from what they've made mistakes on this season and move it on to next season and make a finals run.
Which should be interesting because the schoolboy is obviously their second game. There's some really good forwards amongst those boys out there running around. So
yeah, I watched game 1. It was quite good to watch. I need to watch game 2 still.
Tuxie apparently had a really good performance. Tuxiog.
Yeah, he did. He did until he got injured. He sprayed.
You only know that because I fucking told you before the podcast.
Shut the fuck up, Kane. Shut the fuck up.
Because you never watched a single schoolboys game.
What were you about to say, Blair?
I was just going to say, well, if Tuxie's anything like Cody, and we know they're of a family, there's a real bit of potential there. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing him in a red, white, and blue jersey. So, I think there's some real potential.
So, I have a few theories, right? So, Tuxie is Cody's dad, so it makes sense that he goes to Manly. But then Tuxie's also named after their pet. So I wouldn't be surprised if they go to the Dogs. But then he's a Roosters supporter, so it could always come to us.
What are you doing? Just throwing knives?
I know his real name. I'm not going to say it because he likes his privacy.
Yeah, that's I won't say it either.
So let's just say he belongs at Manly.
We'll see what happens in terms of
there was
signing.
other ones there. There was Ethan Castro, Harry Cheddar, Buster Groove. There was a few really good Alexa Poulos.
I tried to sign Cheddar, and he never responded to me.
Big rip.
No way, really?
Yeah, I tried to sign him when we lost some players.
Yeah, because he was in chat prior to game 2 this week, having a yarn with.
I think the difference now is his players actually playing.
This was during the season when we had some inactives.
Yeah. Well, there's no schoolboys actually being played, so he wouldn't be active.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, those poor fellas left over there.
And,
patiently waiting.
I think it's worth pointing out that, okay, so there's been some issues with getting schoolboy teams on the field, but even just getting scratch 9 sides together, even if half the team is super side mum or whatever, just getting the boys out there, making them feel seen would be a huge way to get that participation up.
Yeah.
That's it.
I agree.
I almost said something I am not going to repeat. We're going to move on to...
Good thing I started talking then.
Yeah, good. We're going to move on to the review of the Eels. Got 5 wins, 8 losses, 274 for, 372 against with a minus 98 differential. My opinion, their best game easily has to be against the Titans, 46-14. The worst game being against the Storm, being 48-6. In my opinion, their best player was John Bakers. For a rookie, had an outstanding season. In what unfortunately turned out to be their final season, they turned their season around, I'd say, right after that. Honestly, a game before the mid-season swap they did with Manly. To the point where they damn near made the 8. They'll virtually one win off. And yeah, I got to give props to them. They're one of the most gutsy teams I've seen. They've gone through the last 3-4 seasons of just copious amounts of rookies, people leaving, all that sort of stuff. And yeah, just I want to see them back. Eventually, in some way or another. Like I was gonna say it as like a ticket, but I could say it here and maybe in a ticket too. I like the suggestion of having like dragons, tigers, and eels in like instead of the schoolboys, and then potentially having like a relegation system where last place of the SRO will drop for first place of the schoolboys. Or
So that would be really good if you could get 4 teams into the mines.
yeah,
So
we
you can
just
go
need the
4.
player numbers really.
Yeah.
I think the issue with that is that you'd end up shattering the team that is relegated. Because there's always a couple of fucking standouts in any team that does rank low. You know, whether it's Johnson, and I've made this clear a number of times. I rate Lind for the Panthers, Bakers and Jameson for the Eels. You know, if you relegate a side to a level below, you're just going to really pull out those players who
Oh no,
are
it's
going
like
to
you
be
wouldn't.
absolutely instrumental in
You,
getting them back into competitive status.
I wouldn't relegate the players. They would go into free agency and they would get signed by the SRL regardless.
Yeah,
But
but
I'm just talking
that's the
about
problem.
the club now.
You're shattering the team.
So if they
I
did
mean,
a big wipe, if they did a big wipe and everyone, if we say we had enough play, like say if we had enough players, like this is all based on players. If they just did a big wipe and everyone started again, although you're still going to have 4 teams that miss out on that wipe season, but that would mean, you know,
the way I look at it is,
obviously,
if you're going to do a wipe, you might as well just bring all 17 teams in as a whole. If we have the players.
I'd like to see a 19. I've made this clear previously. Bring in the fucking Tigers and the Magpies separately. Bring in the Steelers and the fucking Dragons separately. You know, demerge those sides. That way you can potentially look at a 20-team SRL.
you could make it as big. Well, if you wanted to go back far enough, you could go, you know, Western Suburbs Magpies.
I would personally just do
Newtown
18
Jets.
teams. Don't split those sides. Do 18. And
Central
just have,
Coast Bears.
I was going to go North Sydney Bears, but
North
Central
Sydney, of course. Yeah, that's an option.
can't forget Glebe.
Jets is an option.
Northern
Mariners
Eagles.
is an option.
Anyway,
Well, Northern Eagles is
anyway.
a merge of the Bears and the Eagles.
We're straying
Yeah.
off. We're straying off the topic of the Eels. My rating, I've given them a C minus. They've outperformed what we expected them to do, but at the end of the day,
That back end of the season.
Didn't
I was on-
they
I
have
was on
their
that Eels
platinum walk on
bandwagon.
them as well?
no,
Yeah.
they had
No, that's
they
Luke
had,
Short.
Luke Short's still there. They had a
Ah.
gold and a silver both walk out.
Okay, yeah, that was my mistake then. Yeah, okay.
I mean, a gold
Yeah,
and
they-
a silver together is probably worth a platinum. So
Probably more, but
was it Cherry
I mean-
Evans and Settendag?
Sounds right.
yes.
They're two good players. So
They
Gotta
really are.
admit, though, those swaps with KCK, yeah.
Yeah, that was
Was
an
it-
interesting trade,
that
wasn't
was-
it?
but
Kate, do
that's
you want
what
to walk
turned
us
it.
through that?
Yeah.
Oh, we needed certain positions filled that they had players we needed, and they were lacking in an experienced half and definitely lacking in a fullback. So it just made sense to try to organise a trade that could benefit us to get more forwards, which is what we really needed, and a quality winner. And they were desperate for some spine players, and they wanted a forward. So it just made it fair that we swapped over Caelan Kelly, who wanted out of Manly anyway. So we offered Caelan Kelly. They were happy for that, and then We got Freeburn. We basically got Freeburn for our Matangi, Kalen for Russell because we knew that was fair because Russell's an Kalen's an up and coming forward who's very committed to the SRL, and they were happy to do the swap, knowing that Russell was going to retire at the end of the season, so they could keep a forward anyway. And then it was Ole for. I'm blanking. Ole. No, we swapped Freeburn for Albertani.
For Ollie Parche.
Ole for Ole Parche, yep.
You blanked on
And-
one of your leadership.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And
Well,
we really
if Ollie's
needed that forward
anything
impact.
like, well, anyway, go on.
Oh, that was just it. We needed Ollie for that forward mentality, just to attack and defend really good. After losing, Matt Harris really, and like the likes that we've had there previously.
Definitely
Which
helps
was
having
insane,
players who
wasn't
can
it?
attack and defend very good.
When I read those trades, I thought, oh, KCK's absolutely stolen the best players from Parramatta, but it's really weird because it turned out to be a blessing for both teams.
Yeah, well, that's
Those
one
trades.
thing.
So I feel like the
Luke
Manly
constantly
players that
spoke
went
about.
to Eels probably outperformed the Eels players that went to Manly.
That's right.
In some regards, I actually agree. Yeah.
I would
like
say
you're saying,
Parramatta won that trade.
Yeah,
They got
we knew that. Piss off. We knew that people were gonna say, "Oh, Manly's rorted the system again." This time without Matty Harris, but
It never was with me.
behind closed doors, we both deemed it as very even trades that we both really needed. And if I'm honest, Parramatta didn't even enter the trade talks until the last minute because I was about to make two different trades with two different teams, and they just piped in the last second right before I was about to say deal to I think the Warriors, and I just cancelled on the Storms deal. So it turned out perfect for both teams at the right time.
Oh, I'm so glad you did that.
Plus, I have a lot of respect for Luke Short, so making a deal work between us both was really good.
I know you could never back
Clearly,
out
you
Luke
don't
Short,
have
eh?
respect for me
The
because
guy's
you're
a
still
fucking
spreading
legend.
I
misinformation
love Luke
about
Short,
that
and he's
trade.
always
Legend of the
always
SRL.
good for a chat.
Okay, that didn't help. We were all talking at the same time.
Yeah, basically, the moral of the story was we're all saying Luke Short's a bloody legend. He's always
Of
good for a
course,
good
of
chat
course.
with.
But yeah, I was saying, you don't respect me because you bloody are still spreading misinformation about that Creed and Kelly trade. Okay,
Don't think so.
you were the captain in season 4.
Don't think so.
I actually told you no.
Don't think so.
You're a fucking cunt. If I haven't made it clear before, I'll make it clear now. Kane traded away his own son twice because he also traded Creed to Manly while he was playing for Panthers. I've never wanted to trade away Creed.
I didn't trade Creed back to Manly.
Yeah, you did. You bloody helped that bloody trade go through for Daniel. You weren't the captain,
I
but
did.
yeah, you weren't the captain,
Yeah,
but you helped it go through.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah, I did help with that one. But I didn't do the other one.
You did do the other one. You were the captain. I specifically said no.
Next conversation.
If I could be fucked going all the way back and checking, I would.
Next
Anyway.
conversation.
Following on from that, so we've just went over Penrith and Eels. Their game had the highest concurrent viewers out of all the games so far this season.
It was dubbed
Which was 50.
because it was dubbed the Spoon Bowl. We actually made it a big.
I
Yeah,
know,
bro,
but
I love a
everything-
good spoon ball.
Hell yeah!
Everybody watched that game.
I
It was
tuned in for
crazy.
it.
Like 50 people live watching it. And even in the finals, we get. I think 32 was Roosters versus Knights. I don't know how many. I didn't even check for the Titans game, but it wouldn't have been anywhere near it.
When I did jump over to the Titans game, I think it was 23.
Yeah. So if that's a retrospect, that More players that didn't play in that game watched that game.
All right,
So
let's move on to the Cowboys.
It was a good game too.
It was.
The Eagles Panthers.
It was high score. I think it was like 48-24.
yeah, something like that, or
Sounds
46 to
about
20.
right.
20. Yeah,
Something like that. It was
very
high
high
scoring.
scoring game.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so the Cowboys, 5 wins, 8 losses, 304, 264 against with a differential of 36. Their best game, no shocker, was against Manly, 38-0. The worst game being against the Warriors, 28-12. They lost that. Can you go?
Hey, wait a sec.
What's up, buddy?
They didn't beat us 38-0.
Yeah, they did.
No, we
Yeah.
scored a try.
No, you didn't.
One
You sure?
moment.
100%.
I'm going to go to the match hub.
Or was it the fact that they scored just 8
It
points
was
in the second
it was
half?
8
and we're
points in
getting
the
that
second
mixed up?
half. Yeah, it was 30-0 half time. Yeah.
Okay.
Cowboys. Yep, they did you 38-0, Kane.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
I got it mixed up because I remember there was 8 points, and I couldn't remember if we scored 8 points or they scored 8 points in the second half.
Okay.
Well, you did. You scored nothing.
Well,
Shut up, you.
They caught and hold you, Kane.
Yeah.
how's
And that minus 38 is going to come back to bite me later on in this review.
Kane? How's
Yeah.
Owen?
How's what, sorry?
How's Owen?
Oh, fuck off, idiot.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway,
Anyways, their best player, who else but Chaz Dingo?
I don't know. Chris Lord
Was
played pretty
he?
well.
Chris Lord had
Yeah.
a really mixed bag. He had some good games, but most of them weren't.
I must have watched all of his good games.
Yeah, you
Because I
might.
obviously didn't watch all of Cowboys games, but the games I did watch, Chris Lord played really well. But Chaz Dingo had games like that too, like that game Cowboys.
Out of the season, he had quite
Cowboys
a few.
I mean,
versus,
Dingo
Titans.
never had a Liam Ryan performance. So
No, that's. I was just saying. That's what I was about to say. I remember at one stage in that game, he got the
didn't get
ball
the
on my
Blues.
side, and Lachlan's like, because we're in VC, Lachlan's like, "Oh no, Chaz has got it! Oh crap!" And I'm like, "I got him!" And I tackled him, and I was like, "Holy shit, I did!" So,
So the only reason why Barnes got fullback over Dingo was because Barnes was playing good footy, for the most part. But Dingo, in
Yeah, that's
reality, still deserved to keep his spot. But in saying that, in terms of the Blues, change was needed because, we hadn't won yet.
And in saying that, they both didn't fucking perform at fullback.
I mean, all three didn't really perform, but you
I mean,
performed
none of
the
us
best.
performed.
You performed the best of the three, but none of us really performed in the back. It was mainly our forwards
Yeah,
that got
none of
those
us
wins.
really did. And surprisingly, it was me that ended up nudging just a little bit ahead.
Yeah.
Which surprises me.
Well, there you go.
Because I've always rated Barnes and Dingo higher than me, and Bunsey in that.
Anyways, what I've wrote in the notes, I've written an underwhelming season in what turned out to be Lordy's last as captain. A season of what could have been, considering 7 of their 8 losses were decided by 8 or less points. The quality on paper was good for their team, but they just didn't really live up to it. I've given them a rating of D.
yeah. So, because I
Yeah,
remember
I'd
them
even
really
go E, if not F.
We're doing like American system. There's no E. It's just F then D.
Oh, okay. Well, then F. Given the team list they had, and anything that does not involve.
I'll go
them
D
playing
minus. I'll go
finals
D
footy.
minus 1 off F.
See, this is
then
what I said before the podcast. I said they need to be lower.
Yeah. So
Because
I remember.
their side on paper is a top 4 side. And how they
So
played for the whole
pre-season-
season is just terrible.
So preseason, they were dubbed very heavily. Like I remember being in that conversation in SRL chat where everyone was putting out their predictions for the final ladder, and the Cowboys were always on first. Like they were heavy favourites to win the minor premiership before the season started. And I don't know, the wheels fell off very quickly, and everyone's like, "Hold on, Cowboys aren't there." So
But maybe they just didn't pray to their captain hard enough.
maybe.
That was a dumb joke.
Yep.
It wouldn't be me
You're full
without
of
That
that
those,
was a
joke.
Andy.
joke.
Yeah, I don't get the joke. So,
No, I
This is
get the
like
joke. They
one
didn't pray to
thing.
the Lord hard enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not sure
Ah.
it makes. I just don't know if it quite like makes the qualification of being a joke.
It was a pun, so it would fit under those qualifications.
Okay,
Are
then.
puns jokes though?
Yes.
I don't know. I think puns are puns.
And egg puns are yolks.
Okay, let's move on.
Yolks,
Yeah, we're moving on. We're moving on. Fuck.
yolks
Hey,
come
Will,
from
can
chickens
you
and
strike
chickens
Maddie
mate with
again?
roosters.
Yeah, please. I'll send you some clips.
Yeah, there's a scene on Dragon Ball Z where Frieza gets struck by lightning after he says like, "Hey, if I'm so evil, strike me down." He then gets struck by lightning. I'm gonna cop
How
that
many
strike and say,
episodes
"Nice
does it
try,
take for the
jackass."
lightning to hit?
I've already been struck twice by lightning. Okay. You have been too. So fuck off.
Yes, I have, but you know,
I was
Bondi, we were.
I was talking about our losses to the Storm. If you weren't aware.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, then I've been struck by lightning too.
Yeah. We all have. Just
So have
about.
I. Round one of
And
the
one,
final.
and one time was because of Matt missing a tackle.
Oh, no, wait. No,
You
hold
can
on.
get fucked.
No. Hold on a second. We haven't
know-
lost to the Storm.
Yeah, you have. No.
No, we haven't. We beat the Storm.
Oh yeah, you just haven't played
Um,
it. Yeah, yeah.
We have not lost to the Melbourne Storm.
Actually, the only one
Until
here that
Monday. Until Monday.
Until Monday, when
Which
the
is
script
sad
writer hits
because
us.
my first ever try in the SRL was on the Storm.
My first ever try was against the Warriors in my first game, on my first touch.
my first try was
Shut up.
against the Warriors.
Nice.
Wasn't my first game though.
Ah. I think I just got one of those, like, 5/8s kicking for the prop. Like, grubber.
Oh, yeah.
Anyways, so the Sharks. We'll move on to the Sharks. 5 wins, 7 losses, and a draw. I think that's a 7. I can't read my own handwriting. It is a 7. 278 for, 320 against with a minus 42. They didn't have a lot of like good games. Like, they didn't flog any teams. I think their biggest margin of a win was 12 points. But I've gone their best game being against the Cowboys. So they beat the Cowboys while Dingo scored 5 tries. So that goes for something.
That was a 42-34, right?
Yeah. And then I've got their worst
And
game.
that was after they got faded.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then their worst game I've got 36-8 to the Grubs.
Didn't we flog them by a similar margin?
We did, but I don't want to double up. Spoiler alert: the game against the Sharks is our best game. So I tried to like double up as little as possible, so it's not like talking about the same game.
Fair then. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. Their toughest loss would have been against the Knights in round 12, though. If they won those points, they would have made it to the top 8. So.
It's a tough loss, but it wasn't their worst performance, if you say.
Yeah, not their worst performance, but toughest loss.
Oh, for sure. Their best player, I've gone with Drew Matthews.
Yeah, no argument.
I really liked the way he was playing. So I think he had like 14 tries, just 4 tries. And a good amount of tackles. He made like almost 350 tackles. So good on him. What I've written in my notes, I said they had the best forward pack on paper, but they failed to deliver. And when they lost, it was because they got bullied in the middle. Had promise, but failed to deliver. I've given them a rating of D+.
Honestly,
We're still talking about the Sharks.
yeah.
Best forward pack on paper.
I personally thought so. Yeah.
I mean,
They were
Sharks
touted.
had a good side on
Titans
paper.
forward pack is pretty good.
On paper, early in the season, like when the season started, Sharks were touted with the best forward pack.
Take
Okay.
take the
Luke
slightly
Marcus,
different
Remy.
blue-coloured glasses off.
See, the irony is I'm wearing like glasses that block blue light, so
No, but my point was to Luke, like, take
Oh, yeah,
this.
Kalsakau. Yeah, he's solid at second row.
yeah, it's a good lineup.
It is actually
Because
a good one.
both the joke is both Titans and Sharks wear blue.
Also,
Just different
the
shades.
fact Luke is a Titan, bloody Shark supporter in real life.
Shark supporter,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
I am.
My
yeah.
condolences.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, because we're looking good at the top.
Condolences while they're first. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
But yeah, bloody. It was weird considering like they have a really good forward pack, but then yeah, all their losses just they got bullied in the middle.
They won small and they lost big. And there was that weirdness with the Warriors game. Yeah, but I mean, I actually thought that they would have done really well out of the back line. You know, MBT at fullback.
Crimp played really well all season, though.
That is true.
Yeah, he owned a blue spot for a reason.
Oh, one
Because
the
I did a
Blues
brief
game
look
one.
at the. Because I did do
he
a
won a
brief
bunch,
look at
yeah.
the wingers, and Crimp certainly was up there. Who else? I think. Who's the Kelly that plays for Storm? Is that Kobe?
Kobe,
Yeah, he had a lot of line breaks as well, but in terms of meters gained, relatively similar to Crimp.
Well, there you go. Should we move on to the next team?
Sounds good.
We got the Warriors.
Did you give him a rating? I didn't hear the rating.
D plus. D plus was the rating for the Sharks. For the Warriors,
Oh, I would have said C.
I would have said D-, given the team they took on paper.
they did have a good squad on paper, and they were one of the higher rated sides in terms of overall. Bloody for the Warriors, 5 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw as well. 269 for 259 against with a 10 differential. Their best game was their first game of the season against the Grubs, 36-12. Their worst game, I reckon, was against the Eels, losing 30-16, and this is before the Eels got their Manly players. And I've gone their best player as Chance Bunce.
Oh man, that's hard to dispute.
Yeah, by a long way.
Yeah.
When was the last time the Warriors made finals?
Season 4 or 3?
Oh yeah, that's right. They scraped in that one season. Yeah, it was season 4.
I actually thought they were going to squeeze in this one, but never happened. Didn't eventuate.
I mean, they
Well,
would
it's
have.
not
They would
something-
have if McCartney didn't get robbed of a try.
Yeah, that.
But anyways,
It's funny though.
well, I've written in my notes. Showed great promise early with good wins and close losses, but fell out of touch in the back half of the season. Something probably needs to change at the Colt. I think they might be forced into a few changes, considering obviously Sneako's moving on to the Dolphins. He's probably going to take a few with him.
Well, that's going to be interesting, isn't it? Because I suspect that anyone that is on the Warriors free agency list currently is going to the Finns.
Wonder how many that is.
about
It's
to go look
4
myself.
players.
Who is it?
I mean, one would be Sneako.
Obviously.
Oh,
Snick,
yeah,
no, Snicko's
No, Snicko
not on
wouldn't
the
be put
free
on.
No,
agency
Hugh
list.
Snow, Igor McCuzzy,
Okay, so
Gianni
Diego for
Matthews,
sure is going there
and
because
Lachlan
that's Sneako's
McKinnon.
old.
and Lachlan McKinnon.
So I'm pretty confident that Yegor, given Yegor's profile pick on the SRL, it's pretty safe to say that he's going over. I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of talk that Hugh Snow's going over in, that, it's not an official signing yet way. I'm surprised he didn't take Marcus with him.
I never know what to take from this free agency list because I don't know how updated it is.
Probably not fully updated, but then a lot of them, although are not signing with their current clubs, that you know they've already got a club, kind of thing.
But
There's-
Snicko,
I'm only saying that because a bunch of mine,
Yeah, yours hasn't
I've
been
sent
updated.
in the re-signing stuff, and they're all still there. So,
Yeah, get your shit together, Will.
it's not Will. Sonny's doing our side.
Did you send it to Westside?
I sent it to Sonny.
Did you send it to the account Westside?
I'll check.
but
Yes, I did.
He's got a new
Yeah,
account.
I sent it to
It's Sunny SRL.
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't know that. My apologies, Sonny.
Oh,
You know,
fuck.
the Warriors have been consistently really good at retaining their talent, so I'd assume that those four are all actually on the move. Um, you know, I've had disagreements with the Warriors leadership team, but yeah, one thing they are really good at is retention.
So, is it good to
Giant.
retain players when you're still losing?
Think of it
That
because
gets
the way they but the way they put it is it's like a growth project, right? And at some point they're all going to click and they're all going to be amazing.
But the thing is like we're all growing too. It's not like they're growing at a faster rate. We're all growing at the same rate, except for like
Well,
coins.
obviously.
So it's like if they think they're just going to grow quicker than us, it's like okay, then the only way that's happening is if you get your bets right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like the minds, like of some of these other captains and vice captains and all that stuff, they understand that, like loyalty and friendship's great and all, but if you're not getting the results, you do have to make those tough decisions. Like for me,
I mean,
Carl
it's a
Lewis has been
result-driven business.
Carl Lewis has been playing under my leadership for his entire career, and I had to move him on because he just hasn't been performing.
That's interesting.
You know what I mean? And like I know him bloody outside the SRL, like bloody we're mates IRL ish. As in like he lives in another state, but we've met. I've known him for almost a decade, so like you got to make those tough decisions. Yeah, it seems like they kind of don't want to. I think, and as far as I'm aware, every time a player's left their club, it's been due to being forced out by like salary cap or whatnot.
Or sometimes people just want to leave like that as well.
I don't think it's been the case with them. I think it's.
I mean, you know, Liam got Rogers.
I mean, I think Liam might have been the only one.
Pushed
Oh,
out
yeah.
for wanting to leave the cult.
Maybe he's seen the light. Anyways, I haven't given my rating. I've given them a C minus. They've gotten a C minus because I expected them to do worse than they did, but they relatively, at least for the first half, they played pretty well. Kind of just fell off at the end. So yeah, they still did better than I expected them to.
I'd actually give him a C plus. On basically the
Honestly,
basis that you said.
That's fucking crazy how you've given them a higher rating than me, considering it's the Warriors.
You know what? I like to think that I would rate a side on slightly more objective criteria than do I get on with their leadership team particularly well or not.
Like, yeah, I know that absolutely. I was just taking the piss.
But I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah. Anyways, we should move on to the next one, which I feel like Kane's going to be pretty sad about. We got the Seagulls, 7 wins, 6 losses, 304, 338 against with a minus 38. Best game was against the Grubs, 46-24 they won. Worst game was against the Cowboys. So far that's our only double up on games. You can't go against that game. That was terrible from Manly.
I mean, yeah, they got nilled.
Yep, 100%. Their best player, I think it's hard to argue against Kane himself. Kane didn't want himself to be there because he doesn't want to be like biased or anything like that, but it is the truth. Like, honourable mentions, you got Beckman, you got bloody Bontoft.
Toft.
They're great in their own right, but they still... You still played really well. But yeah, I've written here, expected for the spoon and could have made the 8 if it wasn't for Ethan. He's
We
gonna
would have
hate
been in 6th.
that.
Ouch.
I said a season where rookies stood up and their captain led by example. All in all, a positive sign. Considering they were expected for the spoon, I've given them a B minus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hard to argue.
Like, their actual result, 7 wins, 6 losses, is equal with 4th place. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
On the flip side of that, though, the Knights winning in that last round kicked them out of the 8 altogether too. They might have squeezed in there.
They would have squeezed in if Eels won.
Yeah, if Eels won.
Right? Who knows?
Yeah.
It could have been Manly
Because you
versus the Bulldogs this week.
Hmm.
What's up? What's up, Ken?
Beat them before too,
The Bulldogs? No.
didn't we? I thought we beat
No.
them.
Nobody.
Oh. Beat the Titans though, so fuck off, Luke.
You did. You did it very comfortably too, should I add. So
Yeah, you beat the Titans that didn't have anything to play for. They couldn't have gone up or down.
That's okay. We take what we can get.
Yep. Which is 9th place. And no finals for you.
Well, that's okay. We'll
Love
tip
it,
for the
love it.
spoon with the
Love you,
Parramatta, so we did quite well.
Well done, mate. Well done.
Yeah.
to be fair, one of them was me.
Thanks for the judge of faith, prick.
Um,
I think I
Well, no,
tipped for the spoon as well. Like, I wanted them to do better, which they did, but I still expected the spoon just for the sheer number of rookies.
I think I had Broncos in second last from memory.
See, I will add to their rookies.
And
They
the
didn't just
Eels.
have that starting 7, 8, or 9 rookies, or whatever it was, but they had a lot of them go inactive too, so they had to get even more rookies to replace rookies. So, like, you got a rookie at 64 or whatever, and then he goes inactive, and now you've pulled one in for 61 or 62. It's like their overall went down at a point in the season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and they're still winning. And thankfully, they didn't beat us. We were too good for that.
That's because he who shall not be named put in the team list.
Kane doesn't even
who's
count that as part of the season because it was a former vice captain that made that team list, not Kane. But it was Kane's fault he didn't do it because he thought the team lists were on Friday and not Wednesday.
Okay.
But
Right.
it was still a Manly game. You still played and you lost.
Not part of the season.
It was part of our season, I'll tell you that much. But yeah, so that's all the season reviews I'll be doing for this week. We'll do the next 6 next week. So we just have some content for next week because it's only going to be, again, the 2 games to cover. Should we move on to next week's games?
Sounds good.
All right, let me get the team list up. So first game on the agenda, we got the Storm taking on the Titans. Storm look 1-17. Why change it? You know what I mean?
Yep. Same with us.
And yeah, user 1-17 as well. It was 18-6 your favour last time around.
Yep. It was a very boring game.
Yeah, I was going to say it was a very. I'm going to assume it's going to be more lively in this one. I'm hoping the fullback score. Must bet responsibly. And by that logic, I hope one of the Storm props score as well.
Surprisingly, that's the only one I bet on too.
I bet on all 3. I'm like, it's 150 coins. Like, you only have to win one of them to get all your coins back, and you win 2 of them, you're doubling what you get, or getting over double. The reward outweighs the risk, in my opinion, in that sense. I really want the Titans to win this game. I really do. But, My lawyers asked me not to say this, but I will anyway. But, it is Storm players simming the game, so
Oh, Jesus.
there's that.
No, it's
Matty
the
Harris
script
about
writer.
to get strikes again.
And the script writer.
Will knows I'm 100% joking in that, because I've told him directly I
Yeah.
don't think he's doing that.
No, and I've said this.
Just in the public
That's
eye,
right.
it's all, when your team's winning and you're the commissioner recording the games, it's going to look like that. The public eye's going to think that.
It's going to come under scrutiny.
Mainly because they have to find some reason or some excuse in their mind to say, well, why aren't we winning? Why are they winning? This is why. But the reality is they got a good squad and they're winning.
So copium. What you're referring to is
Like a coping mechanism. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my heart wants the Titans to win because fuck the Storm. But my brain says Storm 9 to 18. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much,
To agree.
Shit. The sim I'm running right now, 46 minutes, 18-12. Let's go Storm 1-8.
All right. There we go. Man of the matches. I'll go a little TBK. Trayvon Takahu.
I hate you.
No way.
I was doing TBK.
So do you mean like game man of the match, or like man of the match by a more subjective opinion?
What our opinions are on it. Because if it's going by a rugby league live full, it's going to be the hooker or maybe a fullback if he scores a hat trick.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no,
you know,
I
you
never go
by
by that. Never go by that. Go by what you actually think who deserves it, like who you think's going to have the best performance.
Who do you think will get the 3 points or something like that?
You know what? I reckon it'll be Harris who steps up.
Maybe at least one Harris can perform in the finals this season at least.
You know what?
I didn't
Screw it.
say that.
I played shit,
Why?
but I played better than you, Blair.
Excuse me.
Screw it. I'll go man of the match, Liam Ryan on a losing team.
That's a basic answer.
No, he could have said Luke Driscoll, which would have been a joke of an answer.
That's not basic.
screw
It's
it. Nah.
biased.
Screw it. Liam Rogers then. Liam Rogers to run 100.
Okay, now that's just stupid.
He'll never get that.
He should get man of the match by default if he gets 100 plus meters.
He really should. He has done it this season because I went back and looked and seen I think he 8 times he'd made over 75 meters or something this season. In one of those he made 111 meters, I think.
Oh, not bad, not bad. Give him the bloody LB Strange medal right now. Anyways, Kane, what's your one? What's your
I said mine.
Oh, did you're sticking with TBK?
Yeah.
Alright. What about your score prediction?
I already said mine.
Did you say 9 to 18 as well?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't really listen to you when you speak.
He's just sheeping behind you.
That's it. He sheeped me with the bloody SimVP votes too. With the TCCP votes. That's why Liam got so many points. Because anytime I gave him free, I'll just do what you picked, Matt. And so he'd get the
This off.
Well, to be fair though, those what was it? There was 3 games in a row.
Even when I gave him the 2,
only time Matt complained is because he'd say, "Oh, look at you, Chris Lord lover."
I mean, you gave him a lot more love last season because he was playing good last season.
He played a lot better.
Anyways, Bulldogs versus the Knights. Looking at the Dogs, I think they've swapped Marva. Marva was at 11 or 12 bloody last week, or the week prior.
He's been playing one half in 12, and then they pull him off. Don't ask me where he goes. But then he ends up coming back on. Then halftime he'd end up back on the wing or in centre or somewhere. But yeah, obviously they're starting him at centre, so I'd expect to see him at 12. I'd expect to see him at 12. 12 at halftime.
All right,
He'll
okay.
probably do the opposite and swap to 12 at half.
Yeah, you could probably do that. So I'm trying to look at how that would work. You'd swap Maava and let's say Columbus,
Yeah, you'd swap Columbus to the wing.
and then swap Columbus and sorry, Maava and then the 12 Hodgson, and then you sub on whoever for Hodgson or whatever you want to do with
Yeah.
that. The Knights, they. I was about to say they look 1 to
They've got-
17. They're not 1 to 17 because a certain player who shall not be named has since been fired from the SRL, and we have Goku Simpson, I believe, making his first starting debut. His starting debut.
And Chief Grief joins the bench after what would have been. I think he started before me. He's been in the mines for that long.
Dominic,
He was
fuck.
still in the mines. Chief Grief.
Fuck. I can't do it.
Still
Bill
in the mines.
Cosby.
Bill Cosby.
Oh god.
Damn.
I really don't understand
Oh,
what.
I think we shouldn't. I think we should.
Saw in him.
I think we should just leave it at that. Hey.
You know,
Played really well in that first schoolboys game though. His kicks were on a great dime.
didn't he put one in the drink?
No, not in that first game. No, he all of his kicks were perfect.
So I thought this was SRL, not golf. Why are we talking about putting shit in the drink?
Because he's Bill Cosby.
No, I knew you were going with that. I was trying to get away from that. You fucking. Oh, you're an animal. So was he, I guess.
You know, it could be a real drug on the league.
You know, hey, Blair. This podcast is probably already on a fine line right now. In the sense of being cancelled because of previous indiscretions by I won't name who.
Oh, Cosby's still walking on a single file line.
Anyways.
Yeah,
let's
I'm
talk
surprised
actual
the
results.
captain was willing to take a punt on him. Like, honestly.
I think he just. It's 1 or 2 games. He's the highest rated rookie he could have picked up. Just go for it.
That's what it was. He literally, I can tell you this. The conversation in the schoolboys chat was Ponkston. Hey, Dom, do you want to play? Oh yeah. He was like, you just have to behave yourself for 2 weeks, please.
I mean, because I don't mind saying that when I say he, I'm referring to Bill Cosby, has hit me up previously saying, oh, is there room at the Roosters for me? And oddly enough, he hit me up asking to go to the Panthers after I'd already been declared as the Roosters vice captain, which was a little bit odd.
He was just looking at who's the captain, where can I get into, you know?
Oh, look, Bill Cosby's the kind of bloke who'll
Really knock
try and
you
find
out.
his way into. I was gonna say he'll try and find his way into anywhere he can get. But yeah, oh look, I've met Pongston in real life. He's a great bloke. I'm just wondering if he might have made a mistake here.
I personally think it's not one. I just think he's got him for 2 weeks. He doesn't have to re-sign him.
That's right.
He's got him for 2 weeks in the finals, and he's clearly the highest rated rookie in sense of overall because he's been there for like 5 seasons. So I just think it's
really the half off the bench though.
It's the same reason I took the gamble on bloody Corey Bell all those seasons ago. I pulled him up from the bloody from the mines, even though he already had a spat in that season. Why he even got demoted to the mines? But I took him because he was a gold rated player or silver. I think I can't remember what he was. He was a very high rated player. in the minds that I could have picked up directly for a position he plays, being the wing. So I was like, okay, I'll make do for a few weeks in the effort of making sure the team still stays good. We lost Malachi Booth and replaced him with a equally as good winger in Corey Bell. And that worked out wonders because we won the premiership that season and Corey Bell had a bloody blinder in the grand final too. So who knows, that could potentially happen with Dom or Dominic.
With Bill.
Yeah.
Pretty dope.
Anyways, so in terms of the result, I think the Bulldogs go over, but I want the Knights to. My brain says like Bulldogs 19 plus. I feel like they'll just go on with it. So I'll stick with the brain, and then man of the match I'll give to. Can I actually go onto that bloody team list? There we go. I'll give the man of the match to Moana. He'll bounce back from the dramas, I reckon.
Nah, TTM for mine.
I mean, he hasn't had a good game in ages. He's due one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same thing we said with Pongston. He started the season red hot.
No, Punkston's had a few good games as of late. What do you mean?
Yeah,
He's
no,
a
he
good.
played
I
well.
mean,
but
against
not how
us-
he started.
Against
I'm
us,
just meaning like how he started the season. He looked unstoppable.
Yeah.
I also I do hope the Knights win, but I'm backing the Dogs, 9-18, and Charlie Butler man of the match.
I mean, I do have the Butler 8 points plus as my must bet, or one of my must bets. I've gone all three, but yeah, I don't see, I don't see the Bulldogs losing this one.
They've got such a great defense. I know this from the first round of the finals.
I
like,
wasn't
we
their
really-
defense. It was your shit attack. Don't spin it.
Oh yeah.
Don't
Oh
spin
yeah.
it.
Let's not forget.
Yeah.
Let's not forget the seven forward passes in the second half.
Intercepts.
Ooh.
Intercepts.
Yeah,
Close
intercepts,
game.
yeah. There's argument to be said that their defensive line was up so quick that we couldn't pass the ball.
What the hell?
Yeah, but that's the thing, is
Um,
if the defensive line's up quick, short ball, run it yourself. Don't throw it to them. Fucking.
Anyway,
So yeah,
needless to say, yeah, Bulldogs will probably win. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring affair, and I'm going to say it's 1-8 to Knights. Wait, Bulldogs, not Knights, Bulldogs. 1-8 to Bulldogs.
well, there we go.
And if Damo Moana actually listens to this, he's going to hate the fact that I just said that because I'm cursed whenever I say anything about the Bulldogs.
Good.
Not bad, not bad.
All right. Fuck the grubs.